Hey everybody, uh, so making a video today, and first I just want to say anybody that's been watching these videos I've been putting out, appreciate it. I got a couple comments on a couple of them already on the chicken feeder, also on the new chainsaw. Today's video is going to be a little bit different, but I think you should like it. Not really too much to do with homesteading, but do it yourself, to say the least. Today, this is my four-wheeler. So I've had this thing since brand new. It's a '08 Grizzly 660. If I ain't mistaken, it's the last year you could get it without fuel injection and without power steering. I think the next year they came out fuel injected. And then by 2010, they were 700s fuel injected and with power steering. This don't have power steering. It's not fuel injected. So yeah, be working on this today. I did the other side yesterday. Actually, I took it apart about a week ago, and I ordered the bearings from Rocky Mountain ATV. They were here in like 3 days. Those guys really got them out to me quick. This thing has, I want to say, like right around 3,000 miles on it, maybe a little bit more, which I know it's a 2008 and it's 12 years old, but I don't know how many people realize what it takes to put 3,000 miles on a four-wheeler. This thing's been all over, man. It's did some good trail riding. I put it through the ringer and it's held up. So yeah, let's get into it. I'll show you. It's going to be a view of the wheel the whole time. But I think that's probably what's best for the video. So here's what we got. This is the wheel. This bearing's not that bad, but if you can see that, it really got a lot of side to side, up and down. It's not that bad. That wheel over there, the wheel on the left side, was so bad when I took it apart. The bearing, the ball bearing, the bearings were completely destroyed. It like just completely fell apart. Here's one of the balls that were in there. It was annihilated. I knew it was bad. I had kind of just been putting it off a little bit. So, but yeah, let's get this thing taken apart. It's quick enough. I'll tell you the tools you need as we go. I got this impact gun, makes it a lot quicker. The lug nuts on this, they're aftermarket, but they're 14 millimeter. So I just run them off with this. Get them out of the way. I mean, this whole job, if you got all the parts and you've done one side already, this job's not going to take you that long. As long as you got something to beat the bearing out with, you're talking maybe like a half hour total. Next thing you got to do is behind this, there's a nut. But this nut, I don't know if you can see that. It has a groove in it, like a cotter key groove, but it's not. It's the nut. That piece of the nut actually gets folded in. And it folds in on it, and it keeps it from coming out. I have a different hammer. Oh, here it's under my foot. So I got a flat chisel that's pretty much beat down. It ain't sharp, and I'm just going to knock that out with this, if I can hit it. It might need to be sharp. Bent down pretty good. I think I've replaced this one before. And maybe not the... I don't know if I replaced this or the... I think I did a CV joint on this side. And I think that's why this thing's so crimped in. I'm having a hard time getting this one. Got an air chisel. Probably worked great. I'm gonna see if that was enough. So I also have a 1/2-inch drive, electric impact. This is Harbor Freight. This thing was like $10 20 years ago, and it's still works fine. The socket I used on it was 11/16. It's probably metric. I don't know. There you go. I run it back and forth like that because if it starts to turn and you run it back tight, you get a little momentum every time, and it'll end up, and it opened that thing right up for me. So, like I said, that's 11/16. Then this piece right here pulls right off. It's got splines on it, no big deal. Comes right out. Next thing we got is these guys here. These are oddball. It's 14 on one side, and I'm thinking it's 14 on one side, and I thought it was standard on the other, but none of the sockets really fit it properly. This is a 11/16, and it's really loose, but 18 millimeters too big, 16 millimeter, 17 fits it pretty good. I'm gonna go with 17. But the 16, I put 16 on it and it didn't work. So yeah, take this extension off. You lose torque in the extension. All right, I'm in reverse, and I'm in reverse. This is easy enough. Before you take these bolts all the way out, you might want to put a jack stand. Oh, nice. Grease all over. Grease. Let me grab a drag real quick. Shake this up a little bit. And put a jack stand under here. It doesn't fall a lot. It will come down, but I just put it under it. If you're doing this on a car, those them shocks on a car, they really come. They'll push that whole A-arm down in a hurry. They'll push it down fast. All right, got 2 bolts here that hold this assembly on. You got one, 2. All right, see that one lift up a little bit, and then this guy here will pull right out. That transaxle stays in. This is the bearing that we're replacing right here. A little bit of pain to get out, but let's see what happens. These snap ring pliers, it's got a snap ring in it, and my pliers ain't, I don't think, the right size for it. But if you can see that snap ring, I don't know if you know how these work. It's like needle nose, and then you get these in there and squeeze, and it compresses the ring. I need to put it on the ground to do it. I was trying to show you, but I need to put it down. There it is. This is what was in there.
Oh, that ring?
Yeah, I gotta put it back in.
Oh, you
No.
you got it already?
No, almost though. All I gotta do is just smack this bearing up.
Seriously, Sally.
If you ain't got a press, the bearing comes out the same side this C-clip was on. Put this face down on something like that, so it's hollow. And then you can take a socket or whatever fits into that bearing, but don't go through it. It's just bigger than it. Put it on there like that. I'll show you. See how that setup is? You got the way it comes out facing down on a bigger plate. This plate right here on top of it. And then, yeah. And then take a hammer and smack this plate. got it. You might want to put gloves on. It's probably not hurting you. Is it moving?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That is how you get the bearing out. It ain't easy. You gotta wail on it. It comes out tough. Can you run in the house, grab the bearing out of the freezer and my Dremel tool out of the bedroom? It's right by the door. So here's the old bearing, and it still works. It's still working. Like I said, it was a little loose, but it's still spinning well. This bearing's been in there for 12 years. You can see it's got some rust, and this has like some rust and stuff in it. And so I did it with air, didn't I?
What?
Yeah. Give me the air. Bring the air over. I use the air tool. So what I do, just real quick, I think I kept it out here. I didn't even put it away. So I put this bearing in the freezer. I think it'll go in a lot easier because, you know, you put it in the freezer, it gets cold and it contracts. Been in the freezer overnight. So, here, give me that. Real quick, I'll just take this, turn the air on. It should have air in it. I let it full up. So this is just a sandpaper wheel that's really worn out. I just want to get some of this dirt out of here, that's all. So you see what it looks like before? Alright, so that's all cleaned up. And then I'm going to take a little bit of this. And probably just, hopefully, if I ever got to replace a bearing again, it's just going to make it easier to come out. Just smear some in there. It ain't going to hurt nothing. And then, do we still got that big socket for driving this new bearing in? And then to put the bearing back in, it's just the opposite. This thing's made with it's got like a collar. So the bearing can only go in from one side, and it's the side with the C-clip. And it has like a stop inside there, so it can't go too far in. So now it's going on the opposite way. We'll drive it on. We could use the old bearing. Here's the brand new bearing, frozen. We could probably do one or two things. We could drive it on with the old bearing, which is the same size as it, or we can aim this camera down so you can see. And that's the camera should be. I don't know how good the light is out here. So you just line it up like that, and I use a socket. Put a big socket on there, and just tap it in. Got to keep it going in kind of straight, or it'll jam up on you. Off one side, goes more than the other. Run it in until it sounds solid, and then you can get that clip back in there, which that's it right there.
With my also favorite tool.
And then, dude, you need a Benadryl.
No.
You see all that never sees pushed out the other side? You just wipe it off. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. It's a lubricant. Alright. Now for the fun part, putting this guy back in. This is a two-man job. How'd we do it yesterday?
Push it back and let me squeeze.
You pushed it back in, right?
Yeah.
Alright. So we found yesterday this is easier with 2 people than 1. Go ahead, squeeze it. Oh. But he's got to squeeze it. And it went right in. 2 people, it's a lot easier. You get it right in. Alright. That's that. Then, everything we did before. Now we're just doing opposite. We put a little never sees on this stuff here. I didn't do that yesterday. I probably should have. Just to keep it, if you ever want to get it back off, it ain't going to be a pain in the butt. This is actually labeled upside, and inside. So they must know that people ain't going to pay people to do this. Because this job probably costs you, I don't know, I bet $500 or $600. And I got the bearings I got 2 bearings off of Rocky Mountain ATV or Rocky Mountain Motorsports. I forget what it's called. Motorsports. 2 bearings were $20. And they were here in like 3 days. Like Amazon. Push that down. Push this bolt in. Nuts are not, they got nylon on them, so make sure the nylon's sticking out. And nylon out. Come on, what's going on with this guy? Man, I feel like I got a mosquito on my leg.
I do.
I think I did.
There's something there.
Alright. Wrench on Titan. Impact gun on Titan. Watts apart. Where's that grease gun? Up there? I think it's on that foot peg over there. Watts apart. You can fill up these grease fittings. It's easier now than a lot of bikes together. Fill these up until grease comes out. See the grease come out? Bam. That one's full. Same thing down here. I think I'm out of grease. Nope, grease is coming out. That's done. Now this piece goes back on. It doesn't have any particular way to go on. It just goes on. It'll only go on though with the... And then make sure that's pushed out as far as it'll go. And this nut will probably run right back up to where it was crushed originally. Back to the big impact on 11/16. A little bit more. A little bit more. It's right back to where it was crushed at before. Take this, try to smack it in a little bit. That's that. Don't forget to put this cap back on. I forgot this cap yesterday. I had to take that side back apart. Cap on. Get your lug nuts lined up if you can. Unless you're like me and you can't. I got one lined up. There we go. Alright. So I've been working on my own cars, dirt bikes, 4-wheelers, everything. Sorry about that. My whole life. Always start your lug nuts by hand. I think when you take your car to get tires put on it, a lot of places don't start them by hand. And then you hear about, oh, you had a strip lug nut. Yeah, it's because somebody put them on there and didn't get them started. And put an impact gun on them and rattle them up. Destroy your lugs. And then you go to change it on the side of the road and you can't get it off. No. That's it.
Way better.
That's it. Way better. You don't have that loose wobble that was in there. I think they still move a little bit, but it's the it's like the whole assembly moving, not the bad bearing that was in there. This thing's been sitting for like 2 months. I don't even know if it's gonna start. I'm gonna have to probably jump it. That's the whole video. Changed out the rear bearing on the 08 Grizzly 660. This thing's got so many miles on it. I don't got my key out here, so I can't tell you. But maybe half hour. The whole video is not going to have hardly any editing in it. Just a couple times when I talk to the kids. For the most part, you've seen the whole job. And it don't take that long. You can put a... I'm done that whole side already. You can put a hydraulic jack right under the back to lift the whole thing up. It's easy enough. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it helps. And me and Brandon are going to make a chair tomorrow. That'll be one of our next videos out of a giant log that we got. So, thanks for watching.